says we're live. We shall see. Hey, trolling motor works. Where's the old sunglasses? I was gonna shoot some videos this morning. I was like, yeah, you know what? We're just going fishing. Yeah, let's go fish. See what we can see. Yep, scope looks right. Oh, hey, we have somebody stopped in. Just getting set up. Kind of testing the boat out today. A couple hours before we go. Got to pick up the grandbabes. Just making sure everything's working good before I head north to Wisconsin. Hopefully everybody can see and hear everything okay. Just kind of getting everything dialed in. Let's see, we need a Senko for a follow-up for a buzz bait. Find my Senko pliers. Here we go. Guess we'll get a green pumpkin with as clean as the water is. If you're out there watching, drop in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. We're up here on on Lake Monroe in southern Indiana. All the crazy floods and everything we had. The lake's been about 14 feet up most of the year, but I think we're getting close back down to normal pool now. I'm gonna start out with a buzz bait and a chatterbait. Get my wacky rig set up for a follow-up in case we get a missed strike. Or the old spinning rod. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Hoping to get 4 or 5 hours of fishing in. We got to pick up my grandbabes from Indy today so they can go to my other grandbabe's birthday party tomorrow. And then Monday we are heading. Got the new Biz Baits. Can't remember what they call their buzz baits, but this is like their baby version of it. Figured I'd give it a test. Nice squeal to it. There we go. Don't be shy though. Pop on in. Tell me where you're from. Figure I'm gonna follow this rock bank back around corner. We just recently upgraded the trolling motor on the boat and the graphs on the boat. Had an old, I say old, it was 5 years old. I need to go ahead and turn the speed down. We had a 12 volt 55 pound thrust trolling motor on my little 17-foot low fishing machine here. Went ahead and updated that with a Garmin Force running in 24 volts with a 100 amp hour battery. Figure that'll run us all day and then some. And then we put the 10-inch, replacing the little 5-inch Garmin. Or I had some 5-inch Humminbirds up here, just side imaging on the back and down imaging up front. We went ahead and added a 10-inch Garmin up here. That's what I had on my previous tournament kayaks. I had always kind of kept the boat somewhat simple because it was more of a crappie boat, taking the kids and grandkids out catch crappie and bluegill. But since I can't be kayak fishing for the next year or so, until after I get some hernia surgeries, we were fishing in the boat, so we're turning it into a baby bass boat. Alright, I need to dial back this setting a skosh, see if I can get some longer casts. Well, we got a beautiful Saturday morning out here in southern Indiana. Of course, then I cast it right over a tree branch. Me and this lake have a love-hate relationship. It's the biggest lake in the state. They dammed it up many years ago, I think back in the 50s or something. But some of the biggest bass in the state are in this lake. It just gets beat up by every tournament known to man. Boats and kayaks and major league fishing, and they've all been here. And then a million boat derbs all the time. I always call it the Dead Sea. If I get lucky and catch some dinks, I'm a happy camper. But you can also catch your PB out of this lake, which I did like, I don't know, 20 years ago. I think it's been since like 1998 or 1990. Out here. That was back when I was fishing with the boat club. Actually, one of my club's class tournament and was my kicker for a pretty nice bag. with some other awesome fish, but I have not come close to catching one that big since. But then again, I've been kayak fishing so much, I just don't fish up here that often. I like to fish lakes that are a little more conducive to kayak fishing. I caught several fives out of here over the years in kayak tournaments, heroes in the water and such. Whoops, so we got somebody in the chat. Let's take a look and see who. Here's Josh. I ain't catching stuff. I'm up here on Monroe by the dam. Of course, I'm just getting started, so you know how that goes. Testing out this new Biz Baits, whatever their baby buzz bait is. Sounds really good. It's like a finesse buzz bait. But just getting set up. Just making sure I got everything dialed in. I got carp jumping all around me. I might be a little late on this buzz bait action. Might have to tie my my prickly pear back on. I did sleep in a little today, so I ain't gonna cry about that. I'll probably throw this a couple of minutes and then go to work with the chatterbait wacky rig and the prickly pear. I may as well go ahead and grab that prickly pear now. I know I'm gonna want to throw it over all these rocks. Trying to get everything dialed in. My scope wasn't kicked on. Need to take a look at that too. Figure I'll do that after we get done with the live. Right on, we'll go to work. Actually got a new rod and reel I need to test out. I already know all this stuff works. Get this prickly pear tied on and we'll grab that combo real quick. If anybody was watching me on socials yesterday, you saw I met up with Brian from the Rod Locker picking up some gear. Getting ready to go north to Wisconsin to chase some big smallies for a week. Gotta get the old prickly pear ready. There we go. I've been throwing the prickly pear on my bait casting setup, but I've got a new rod that I'm going to be doing some testing on because I want to be able to skip under a lot of overhangs and docks and river banks when I'm up in Wisconsin. Did I catch a fish or caught a stick? I was like, I hit something, just didn't know what. But we pulled the stick away from the bank, so there we go. We're doing our part to help our other anglers that are coming out. Need to kind of face over this way instead of, probably need to turn my camera more towards the bank. I need to pay attention, that way you guys stay in line with where I'm casting to. This trolling motor's so powerful it ain't funny. It's on one and it's just flying. It's like I need to slow down and fish the areas and then get back on the trolling motor. But a lot of people have been catching their PBs on their prickly pear this year, that's for sure. I fish it kind of like a Senko and a jerkbait. Let it fall a little bit. I'm actually going to let it fall around that tree branch right there. These fish sure love this damn thing, that's for sure. I do not know why my live scope's not working. Unplug it and replug it back into the graph real quick, and then we'll get back to it. Just like having it for looking around structure to see if there's anything around. That and I want to know it works when I go up on my trip. It detects that it's there. Now it don't. There we go. We see fish. I don't know where we see fish, but I didn't bring my jig head minnow rod today. I'm in the middle of relining all my smallie rods. But we've got somebody out in front of us. Where'd they go? Like 30 feet that way. Let's see if I can. See if I can drop my bait down there and see what the hell that is. They're showing pretty high. I don't know if I can see my bait on the screen though. Ain't got that good yet. There's Cairo. What's up, my lady? You doing any fishing today? I'm trying to spotlight these deer out here. But I can't find my bait because, you know, I'm a noob. Let's see. I need to go get that minnow. I need to go ping that minnow. But I'm relining that rod. All right, let's see. There's somebody out there about 50 feet, about 15 feet down in that direction. Problem is, I don't know if I can see the bait well enough. I gotta figure out like the settings and everything so I can see my bait. Get the old cheater box going. I know there's stuff out there. I just can't see my bait enough to do anything. Anyway, let's get back to fishing. We'll get back to fishing. We'll beat the banks. That's what we know what to do. There are fish up around this tree, though. Probably crappie and whatnot, but that pond at the moment, dumb fish not biting, figures. Yeah, I know. I need to start keeping a crappie rod with me. I found the branch of the tree that I saw on the scope because I cast right into it like a dummy and then let it fall. Wasn't paying attention. You know, it's a prickly pear, so you guys can see up here on the scope. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't bring my crappie rod. I had it in the boat and set it out on the side when I was relining some other stuff yesterday. I got crappie down here for days. 4 days. But let's see if I get my prickly pear out of here. Oh, I got it. Yeah, there's all kinds of crappie down there. Gotta start bringing my crappie gear. When I come to this lake, I gotta be ready for crappie and bass. Just because. Alright, I got a new rod and reel back here. We gotta pick up and try. Where'd I put it? Oh, there it is. Look at there. I didn't even seal the cork. So you guys are the first ones to see this. I haven't even done a review or first look or anything yet. Picked this up from Brian last night from the Rod Locker. He was on his way to Indy for his son's soccer match. And I had picked up a couple rods, traded some stuff in, and met him on the highway 30 minutes north of my house, so I didn't have to drive to Evansville. But yeah, this is the new for 2026. This one is the IMX Pro redo, and you'll notice black with the silver lettering. Now, you guys know I love the IMX Pro because the old Red Series, the bladed jig rod that I had, was my absolute favorite bladed jig rod, and I broke it a few years ago, high sticking it on a catfish. So I've got a GLX bladed jig rod, which is for my full-size jackhammers. But this one is actually the crankbait rod. If I can figure out where I'm wrapped around and over this. I'm in my line in here somewhere. You through here. Back through here. Back over here, back through here, and there we go. All right, anyway, this is the crankbait rod, but I use the medium action crankbait rods for throwing square bills and for throwing mini maxes and Evos, the little minis. So this is my favorite setup for square bills and mini maxes, and I throw the mini max pretty much more than the regular chatterbait these days. There's just so much success on it. So I wanted to get some IMX Pro rods since they just did a redesign, so I can obviously talk about them. And I know Loomis is a higher end rod than a lot of people look at, but you know what? I do these because someday somebody is going to be, you know what? I've worked my entire life, and I want to reward myself with a present. And I always tell everybody, you ain't got to spend high-end money on high-end gear all the time. But you know what? When you get to be in your 50s and 60s and even your upper 40s, you got to be working for something. So if you tell yourself, one time, I want to splurge on myself and whatever my favorite technique is, I want to treat myself to a high-end rod and reel. And who am I going to talk to and watch to give honest opinions about that than the guy who buys them himself and does first looks on them. So I tell people punch fishing is your first and foremost when it comes to like all the high-end stuff. But old Gramps here, obviously, as you guys know, as I'm getting ready towards retirement, I'm kind of doing the same thing. Each year, I buy a combo or two of my favorite whatevers, and this is what I'm going to fish with the rest of my life going into retirement. So, the IMX Pro is about the middle of the road as far as the Loomis line, but when you're talking about if you're talking about the lowest end of high class, you're still living well. So I've paired this up with the Lew's Hypermag. It's the Gen 3, the ITB that they just came out with this year. You guys, if you follow me, know I'm married to Lew's and Shimano. Shimano I have fished with my entire life, and I also love Lew's because Lou Childry actually got Shimano into making reels back in the 70s when he sent his first reels to Shimano, who is known for making bike parts, and they made the Lew's BB1, and the rest is history. And after that, Shimano got into reel making themselves. So for me, Lew's and Shimano, hand in hand, they go together. I have probably more Shimanos than Lew's, but you guys know I love me some Lew's too. It's an American company. I'm not saying American made. They're an American company, but you know, they build great reels too. So you guys know me, Shimano, Lew's, my two favorites. I don't care for Lew's rods at all, never have. That's why I fish with Shimano rods and mostly Loomis these days. And some Monster Bass Lunker sticks. Got to still throw that love out there for the budget-minded folks. I'm at 36, about to have my first kiddo. Kind of lost identity, and fishing has kept me sane. Yeah, kids are the hardest and most rewarding job you'll ever have. I have 4. I have 3 sons that are now Army veterans. They followed in their mother's and I's footsteps, even though we didn't want them to because, you know, of all the shit going down overseas. But I have 3 sons and a daughter. All right, I started that on the highest magnet that there is. I'll go down about halfway. We'll make another cast. All right, I can still loosen that up a little more. Oh, I can feel that. But yeah, I have 3 sons that are all Army veterans now. 2 are in their 30s. One's in his upper 20s now. He's a student up here in Bloomington. And he and his wife are students. And my oldest works for the state in the emergency management. So that poor dude's been having a rough 2 weeks with all the floods going up around Indy and north. And then my middle son followed me in the Army as a signal soldier. So now he's like a computer guy. He did like satellites and all that. I need to loosen up scotch more. But and then my daughter, who has a nursing degree but works in the hospital. Well, she works in the industry of placing like anesthesiologists and doctors and such. She traveled the country during COVID and put her ass out there on the line while all that was going on. So yeah, proud of proud of all my kiddos because they've all served this country in their own ways. And then I have 3 granddaughters, my grandbabes. Oh, that's these. Okay, so I need a little more magnet. Let's see. Is it that way? And then, you know, because they say with these magnets, you know, you can't. Once you get them dialed in, you ain't gonna check them. Who's texting me? Hopefully it's not work again. I had to deal with some stuff yesterday. Oh, that wasn't a text. It's all fine. So we're gonna get this reel dialed in, and then we're gonna give some flings and see if we can't. There we go. It dialed in that time. Let's back it off another little bit. I'm actually going to start fishing here in a minute, but I'm trying to get this dialed in. But yeah, I understand when you're talking about how to keep your identity. See? Still got to dial it in, which is fine. Brand new line on a brand new reel. There are none of them that are dummy proof, but once you get them dialed in, my goal with these magnet like reels is for especially when you're casting in the wind and things like that. But not a real bird's nest. It just kind of got loose on the spool, so we got to dial it in. But I do know what you mean by losing your identity, because between working and like me, I was going to school, working on certifications, raising 4. But don't get me wrong, that was my wife dealing with work and raising 4 kids. She has always been my rock. And 100% my grandmother, her grandmother, just I still got to go out and fish. She's a book reader and stuff like that too, but she was 100% a mom. Well, I was out trying to keep sane from work and everything else and just, going fishing. I've always had a million different hobbies, so if I wasn't fishing, I was competitive shooting or this or that, or always something stupid. Something to keep me kind of busy. But then once my kids got old enough, then I quit going to fish bass tournaments and all that stuff, and we were more focused on taking them fishing and teaching them to fish. I often tell the story of the time that I came back from a bass tournament, and it was actually the last boater bass tournament my brother and I ever fished. It was a team event. I had been gone for a week, pre-fishing, and then fishing the actual tournament itself. It stormed like the whole time. It was terrible. We had a terrible tournament. And I come home that Sunday night, knowing I had work the next day, bitching, whining, moaning, crying, beat up, sore, tired. My wife's like, "You got some nerve." And I turned the magnets the wrong way and I did it again. My wife's like, "You got some nerve." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Yeah, you got a lot of fucking nerve coming home. Whining, pissing, moaning after being on vacation for a week for the last 10 days. And you're going to come home acting like this?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, Mr. On vacation, gone for 10 days, leave me here with 4 young kids, Little League season starting. I'm running around doing everything, and you're here bitching about a bass tournament?" She's like, "I'll tell you what pisses me off even more, Mr. Pro Bass Fisherman. Your own damn kids don't even know how to fish." You talk about getting hit in the face with a bag of bricks. That hit me. Oh, that hit me. She was 100% right. So when I say that was the last bass tournament that I fished until all my kids were out of school, I ain't kidding. Because I sold everything but a couple of my favorite combos. Oddly enough, one of those reels I still have at the house. All right, did I dial that magnet back? That's better. Gotta get a little more distance, but we're getting her there. Yeah, I cut down on all my gear, and yeah, started coaching Little League. start taking the kids fishing, teaching them over the years. And we got more back into family things instead of me just being about me. So, I know where you're coming from. But the bass tournaments don't mean shit when it comes down to it. The time with your kids, because before you know it, they're not kids. And before you know it, they're your kids with kids. And then you're teaching them how to fish. So, yeah, I know what you mean. And I look at it this way. As much as I love going fishing kayak tournaments, Bassmaster and Kayak Adventure Series, and all the fun I have for that, ask me what I would give right now for one more day. On a boat with my 10 and 12-year-old sons. Little bass chase that back. I get it. There's guys that want to go out and be pros. A lot of them end up getting divorced, chasing their dream and doing all that. Not me. Carol says she's fishing with a sissy rod. I brought mine. Probably what I catch them on too. Senko, you know me. But I wanted to test out this crankbait rod. Evo rod. I love these Evos. Oh, I love these baby chatterbaits. Absolutely fantastic. I think I gotta drag this. I'm seeing fish relating to the bottom. It's shallow right there on the bank, and then it drops off to like 12 to 20 feet. And I say 12 to 20 because it's like a step. But these fish are sitting right on the up lip because they're probably pushing those fish against the bank, and I might be moving a little too fast. I need to drag that jig off of that. All these rocks. Oh, you know what? While I'm thinking of it, before I get down here where it gets juicy juice, I need to do a quick video with my phone talking about some stuff I'm testing out. So you guys get to watch me make a live, watch me get to make one of my videos for the tubes. Oh hey, do you like to film your adventures when you're out on the water and boat, kayak, or even, well, let's try that again. Oh hey, do you like filming your adventures when you're out on the boat or the kayak? Let me take a quick second to talk about something I've been testing out for a quick minute, and hopefully this isn't, well, the sun tearing it up. This is a stick from YOLOtech, and it actually mounts into the rear light port for my boat, and it's actually got a light you can put in the top of it. But I also wanted to point out the fact that, and I'm going to turn the camera back around to me, they also make covers for your DJIs and your GoPros for those hot days. I generally like to film with the battery out and using external power, but if you have a white cover like the ones they make at YOLOtech, that helps reflect some of that light off and keeps the sun from beating down on the screens on these front and back and absorbing all that heat. So if you're looking for a way to film in the summertime and get more time out of your filming, give these YOLOtech covers and the YOLOtech sticks a try. Okay, bye. As my sons would say, so gay. Yeah, I know. Talking to myself in cameras. It's the Gramps way. All right. Let's get back to fishing. You know, it's supposed to be fishing with Gramps. Not making reels and things. But I saw those and ordered those, and I was like, you know what? YOLOtech has got some good ideas. Let me try this out. Where do I put my rod? And hey, who knows? Maybe someday it'll mean something, and they'll send me something free to review for them. Who knows? I do have a company. First one in a while. I think Monster Bass might have been the last. Because you guys know I work with Monster Bass and Rod Locker and so forth. Oh, we don't have our drag set. Let's tighten that up a skosh. I don't think that's a fish. I think it's a stick. Yeah, it's a stick. But I knew it wasn't right, but at least I'm getting all these little things out of the way instead of making a mistake. Now we got drag set. But yeah, I got an email, and a lot of times I'll get like the spam and the Temu crap, and then the dorks with the e-bikes and all the other shit that I don't need or want to mess with. I know some tubers, they just whatever they get. Oh, I'm gonna get it and go make videos. Sorry, I'm not a Temu dude. I buy off of Amazon, Rod Locker, and Tackle Warehouse like everybody else. And I know there's a lot of people that may use it. I just don't. I mean, that's me. But anyway, but yeah, I got a tackle company that reached out and was like, hey, we like your content. And I'm like, what? I know the three guys that run this tackle company. And, well, I don't say I know them. I don't know them personally. But all three of their channels are ones that I follow on YouTube because they're all top-notch anglers. Not like pros, but guys who make tackle, make content, and teach people how to fish. Well, okay, one is an MLF-like angler. But anybody know who Fish the Moment is? Watch any of his videos? Or Matt Steffen, Major League Fishing? Or Jim Easterling, the fishing coach? Anybody watch any of those guys? Know what tackle company I could be talking about? Anybody follow any of those three guys? Fish the Moment. I love Fish the Moment. He does so many awesome lake breakdowns and stuff like that. Johnny. See, I need to back off the scope because we're back in shallow water. Shallow-ish. But anybody know the tackle company I'm talking about? K-Ro's like, yes, yes, yes. That's right. Core Tackle. Core Tackle. And I've used quite a bit of their stuff and love it. I don't think I've really made any like dedicated videos talking about their stuff. Oh, there was a fish, but I think he just tackled the tail of my chatter. But yeah, Core Tackle reached out to me, and they're sending me a little care package. I think it was like $50 or $100 worth of stuff to test out and do some vids on and see what I thought about it. But I mean, I definitely can get behind them. They're in the they're at Rod Locker, so I mean, it's not like I can help them get into the shop that I work with. But yeah, I mean they got a bunch of cool stuff. So I got some stuff coming, and there is some fish right in front of me, about 7 feet down. And I am going to let this chatterbait get all the way down there. And I am going to reel this back right through these mofos. I really wished I would have brought my jig head minnow so I could have pinged. You know what? I might be able to tie one on. What did I bring? Oh, I got a drop shot. Ooh, a drop shot. Right there where these fish are suspended with one of the little baby, I can't remember which fuzzy ball bait it is. Alright, we're going to drop shot. We're going to do Debo's most hated. Anybody watch Debo's latest video he put out last night? I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not being morbid, so please forgive me. Am I still in a coma? Or are we in a time in a world where Debo, from Debo's Fishing, is not only fishing in a kayak, who is also catching fish on a drop shot yesterday. Let's see, that's about 50 feet out, so I'm gonna let. Oh, that's not the cast. Let's act like we know what we're doing. We've been off the water for a year, but we've been on the water enough that we know how to cast. Anyway, Debo fishing a drop shot, and he was using a Loomis and a Shimano Vanford. And he also has a catch board. Yes, he was in a kayak with a Loomis and a Vanford, throwing the fanciness, with a drop shot, in a kayak, and he has a catch board. And he's coming to fish his first tournament this weekend. And I just got that drop shot hung up in the brush pile that I see below me. Anywho, I'm actually going to be live with Debo tonight. And we're going to talk tournament fishing in a kayak. Because he is coming to the Kayak Adventure Series. Now, I'm also going to the Kayak Adventure Series, but I'm going to help out Jake and Drew since I can't fish in a kayak. But since I'm going to be up there with them all week, I'm taking my boat. So I'm gonna go get some footage of some folks practicing, get some pictures, do some fishing myself. Boy, it almost feels like somebody's nibbling that. A lot of fish down there, but I don't know if they're crappie. I can't see my bait for anything. Of course, that's a smaller bait. I don't know that I could actually. I'm surprised I can't see this bait. But I got fish right below me, so I'm gonna. I don't know how well they can see this. It's the G-Crack. I can't remember the names of the stuff. Somebody followed my. That was a crappie following my little doohickey back up. It says G-Crack, whatever. I can't remember the name. I know Josh will know. All right, so we have a high spot on that bank up there. I'm gonna go ahead and move up. Caro says she knows what she's watching tonight. Yeah, but I'm gonna walk Debo through tournament fishing. The Kayak Adventure Series. But I'll be up there helping Jake and Drew out, and they support me by putting me up in the Airbnb for the week, and I absolutely love that. They have taken care of me, but that's what I love about the kayak fishing community. Me going up there with no kayak, but I'm still promoting, still trying to help, in any way I can, because I believe 100% in what they do. If I could only fish one kayak series for the rest of my life, Kayak Adventure Series is the one. I've always loved the KBF stuff. Can't do the month-longs anymore. There's guys down south, I can't compete with them, so I don't waste my time. But I love the Bassmaster, obviously, because that's like the best of the best, and plus they just go to all the places. That being said, even with my boat, I may have to see if I can't figure out a way to get down to Gunnersville when everybody else is down there for the KBF. I'll just bring my boat down, maybe. See if I can get Matt to go. Boy, there are just fish suspended. Okay, I gotta try to get this prickly pear down there on these boys. I don't know if they're bass or not. All right, where are they at? 25 feet in front of me. Yeah, that's too far, but if I can see my bait, then I can bring it back into them. I'm gonna let my bait fall and try to pop it a bit so I can see where it's at. There's so many crappie in here. I wish I'd have brought my crappie rod and baits. So much goodness. I'm taking so much time coming down this bank, it ain't funny, but hey, I see fish, so you know. I gotta go back and restring all these rods before I get up there. Kind of wanted to see where everything was so I know what I kind of needed to do to get ready for my trip. What creek am I in? I am at Monroe, and I'm down by Salt Creek at the ramp at the dam. I'm kind of up around the corner. I'll turn around behind me, but you can see. I think they call that the cutout. It's where the kids always go and hang out. I'm just down here working on a bank, making sure my trolling motor, everything is kind of dialed in for my trip up to Wisconsin next week. That, and I had a new rod I'm dialing in as well. But these crappie are just beating the crap out of that prickly pear. That one took me into another stick. I'm doing a good job of pulling the stuff away from the bank. Definitely got to reline my metanium here. This is my finesse jig rod, but I'll probably be throwing some like mag drafts and stuff like that up there. Them big old schmaltis. A loop in here I need to pull out. I'm down to like the last 50 yards of line on this reel. I haven't touched it like in 3 years. Obviously didn't do anything with it last year and haven't done anything with it since, so. I'll have to bust my son out here before too long. Getting a little sun on the back of the head, but. Great day in Moores. Tuesday and yesterday. Oh, hell yeah, dude. What were you catching them on? The weird thing is, I don't know why I know why I came here because it's so close to the house. It seems like I catch fish everywhere else. Even though I've caught some down here. But I just keep thinking, man, I'm by the dam. There's all this chunk rock. If there's going to be a smallie around here somewhere, you know, it would be here, but no. But I need to sit down and do some map study and actually start taking it serious too. Because I know there's fish in here. I've watched guys come down here fish derbs down here. Let's see if you go deeper. You know, I know there's fish down here. I just need to work on getting them. But I lost a giant. Actually broke it off because I had a freaking ancient connection knot on that spinning rod. It rubbed up against the dock. But that's probably a 4 or 5 pounder. The first prickly pear that I lost, I was throwing it on too light of a spinning rig. But yeah, I had a bad connection knot. Just heard it rub and it's like, yep, should have retied that leader. Which Discord? Dude, I haven't been on anybody's Discord like in, good God. Since I stopped gaming. When I quit gaming after, what was we playing, PUBG? Holy smokes, it's been a while. I need to build a new gaming rig for the winter time. I'm kind of missing it again. I haven't used Discord in forever. I need to build a new rig this winter. It's been too long. These crappie are just tapping the shit out of that prickly pear. But that's what I like about the size of it. And I'm actually going to get some bigger ones. I guess some of the guys are making like 25 millimeter ones. My whole thought with the process between these baits is they're so big. It's like throwing a, like a big glider swim bait. It's just so big. The big bass, they don't want to not hit it. All right, let's scan around. I wish I would have brought my minnow rod. Didn't bring my jerkbait rod, nothing. I've got to get that stuff back in the boat. But again, I think I caught another stick or a rock. I'll let that one sink a little too much. I'm just trying to bounce this over the top of these rocks, but I can now see with the scope, I see the brush pile that I threw it in, not knowing it was there. You grab this jig and drag it over the top of these rocks or tie a tube on. Oh, just got caught on the backside of some rocks. Somebody said good luck, appreciate it. Let me get off these rocks. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm letting it sit too much in the rocks. Let's see who that is down there on the bottom, about 40 feet out. One of these big ones come up here and smash this prickly pear. Jet skis are out already. All right, let's see. All right, jig, you're up. Even though I know I should pick up that Senko. Need to tie a rage bug on is what I need to do. Swimming over the top of these rocks. You know what? If you say it, do it. Let's make a quick change. I love throwing a jig, but I know right now we catch so many on a rage bug this time of year and all year. Question is do I have any tungsten? Yep, I do. Sheesh, I need to go buy some hooks. I forgot I sold all my shit last year. Let's see. There's a grip pin over here. Order some more of these Evolution boxes. Got the cheaper ones that come with the carrying pack, but they've actually got some higher end ballistics, I think they're called. I think I want to get those for carrying my tackle and stuff in. There we go. Ye olde rage bug. Oh, did put it on there straight. Did put it on there straight. Might be better off going with a green pumpkin swirl with this water being as clear it is, but man, black and blue just works everywhere all the time. Yeah, June bug is the juice too. I'm just so low on plastics that I need to restock on everything. I need Strike King to partner up with me and send me a box of stuff. What do you think? You're like, hey boys, I love Strike King. Send me all stuff. Could go ahead and get a little closer and swim this along the bank. Make it look like a bluegill. We'll go ahead and buzz on in here. Act like I'm in a kayak. Except I can't get like in no feet of water. Should go out deep and put on a big old 10-inch worm. That's alright, we're just bank beating right now. See if there's anybody up in the more shallower stuff. Yeah, we got into 5 feet real quick. Yeah, it's pretty clear down here right now. I was kind of surprised when I got off the ramp. I want to go down and cross over and go down by the dam and come up that bank, basically on that side, because much like right here, the river channel runs up towards it and then leaves like a 20-foot like shallow, and then goes up into no feet shallow. And we know the bass like to come off out of the deep and onto these shelves, and then go up even shallower to push them up against the bank. It's like this. I'm on a 5-foot shelf right here, so if I go out there a little ways, it'll go down to 50 feet. But I went from a 20-foot shelf, and now I'm on like the 5 and 6-foot shelf. But there's a lot of fish out here, so maybe if I catch somebody coming up to get him some snacks, we'll see how it goes. A lot of them are relating down at the bottom. I know if I got out deeper, I could probably start seeing the thermal climb, being it's summertime. But no indications of it here up against the bank, which is about what I expected. There's somebody big about 30 feet in front of me. And I have not figured out where in the cone I'm actually lined up yet. I'm pretty sure I got my deucer lined up well with the arrow on the Garmin. I could always put it in perspective mode, but that's great for like skinny water, especially in the spring. A lot of fish down there. I just need one of them to eat. I need to keep moving because I'm out here acting like I got all day to do this. But yeah, if you guys are at work next week, keep an eye on the channel. I will probably go live when I get on the water up in Wisconsin next week. And you might get to be in the boat with me if I catch my PB smallie. In Indiana, I caught 2 19.5s, although PB in weight, up in Wisconsin 2 years ago. Had hoped to beat that last year going to Minnesota, but we took a detour to the hospital, which is okay. And then I went up to St. Clair and fished. There's bluegill tapping on my stuff. And fished with Dylan Grubb, the extreme outdoorsman, at Lake St. Clair. I had an absolute blast. The only bad thing for us was the wind was out of the east, so it made the bite pretty tough. But either way, still caught another 19.5. So still, this is starting to be like the frog thing. I went a few years. Another bluegill tearing up my tails. I've been stuck on 19.5 with this smallie. And anybody who follows the Achigan brand, if you want that certified donk shirt, you got to catch a 20. And I want that shirt. I want the sticker. I want it all. I want a 20. Josh, did you go on a Achigan brand and submit your picture? Makes you eligible to buy the 20-inch shirt. Certified donk. I wish I brought my jerkbait rod, my jig head minnow rod. They're all about halfway down. Whatever deep the water is, they're sitting about halfway. I keep throwing it under them, and I keep trying to swim it over them. But a lot of them are suspended right between the bottom and the top. Just hanging around. But I figure with all these rocks, which equals crawl, might have to take that drop shot off and throw that mini tube on. Seeing so many things that could be. All right, so 50 feet out in front of me, there's some stuff suspended over it. Looks like a stump. I need to just put that prickly pear in my hand until I figure out where it is on the scope. Oh, I saw my bait that time when I pulled it out of the water. Yeah, as I've been rebuilding my stuff, I'm kind of going the same way with the Z-Man baits. It's like I'm going to be using them all on my chatterbait trailers. Even though I love like a fluke and the flush and stuff like that, it's hard to beat their chatter spike. They're bigger. Back to using those bigger profile ones. Under a rock. This trolling motor, so even on one, I am just flying. But I need to get back behind. I got under a rock there. But yeah, I love like the Z-Man, like their their shaky head worms and stuff like that. I'm gonna get right back up in these rocks. I'm on the back side of this rock. Okay, there it is. But yeah, shoot, I can get a partnership with Z-Man and be good too. I like the crawl trailers on my Neds and all that too. Just the value that you get out of them, not having to buy soft plastics over and over and over again. All right, it's time for me to bust up my fishing hat, because if I don't, I'll burn my neck. Grant will get pissed. Bust out the Serpa, my Serpa hat. Gotta put the old Fisherman Gramps hat aside and bust out the Serpa to protect the ears and neck. But yeah, I want to get some of like the Z-Man, like their sinking Senkos, because I buy Senkos by the ton. And since I've talked about a Senko and I haven't thrown it yet, let's go ahead and do it, because I know I'm gonna catch a fish on it. Nothing worse than watching somebody on YouTube fishing, not catching fish. So it's money time. Of course, these fish are probably still out deep anyway. That thing got tapped as soon as they hit the water. But I know the crappie and bluegill are up here too. But I'm hunting for the bass that are up here, hunting for the crappie and bluegill as well. So we just know how that goes. I was hoping that was a DNR boat. I ain't talked to them guys yet. So it's fun getting them on video. Everybody else tries to avoid them. I like having a conversation. Of course, a lot of them know me anyway. I knew their boss, who was the director of DNR for a long time, and then he was the parks. Well, before that, he was like the parks, head director of the parks. Good old Dan Bortner. Went to school with him, and he's on our radio quite a bit. Does the high school football games on the radio. He's just involved a lot with the state. I just relined my net and my shaky head rod last night, which is why I'm not throwing a net on these rocks. I just put new braid on them, and I got to go tie the FGs tonight. It was almost midnight last night by the time I got done goofing around with that crap, and then putting line on this bait caster. Like, I need to go to bed. I'll retie those. I'll tie those knots tomorrow. I am so surprised that they're not pushing these fish up against these rocks. I know the sun's beating on it, but still. It's still early enough in the day that they should be pounding. There's a bluegill. Brrr. It's been a while since I have. Let me see if I can get this bluegill in, if he'll hang on to the Senko long enough to... I think he already let go. Yep. I've done that before when I get up and then you hold them up in front of the camera and they're like, bloop, bloop, and then let go. But I mean, the bluegill are up there. The bass should be around. I should have brought my bluegill rod. I'd be smashing them, fam. I got to start doing that because I just, if anything, if I'm going to be up here, I know I can catch a ton of those, and that's still fun to watch, even though I'm up here bass fishing. But there are so many bluegill up here just beaten to death. I took my rod out. I got one, and I took it out, and I just got to put it back in the boat and leave the boat, especially when I know I'm coming here. Because there'll be days I'll come up here and you can catch some bass, and some days you can just come up here and catch 300 bluegill, and they're still fun to watch. But they're all over this bank. All right, I see some bass 50 feet out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see this. I don't think that was quite 50 feet, but need to pick that prickly pear back up and see if I can spot it. That's what a lot of guys are doing right now, is open water and scoping them with the big prickly pears. You tell me another bluegill out there. I see him suspended out there. Let's see if we can scope one of these dudes. I ain't caught a scope fishing. Never. Keep messing with the bank until I see some. I need to look at the maps and go find out in the middle of the lake, go find those deep water humps where it comes up. You're out in the middle of nowhere, but it comes up to like 10 feet deep. That's the kind of stuff you'd be out there throwing a Carolina rig on and doing this kind of thing. Them bass will sit out there in their deeper water until the thermocline pushes them up. But they'll move on to those humps to feed just because it cuts down the amount of water. I see a ton of crappie and bluegill up on the bank. I mean, they're all up there. Just looking for those bigger profiles. I still just fish the way I fish regardless. I'm not like a scope aficionado. I've got to, I gotta rig up a, oh, you know what? I just forgot about that. I know Chad and Austin at KBF have got this molly thing they have built for the back of these chairs for the kayaks, but I want to get one of those so I can attach batteries to the back of my chair here for running my cameras and mics and all that, and keep my tablet charged. All right, so straight out, but I gotta reach out to them and see if they've got that up on the market yet. All right, we got a whole bunch of somebody out here, 40 feet. See if I can cast it past that and then let it sink in and see if I see it. Because out here in front of me, we got a hump. That's probably a big carp or something out there. There's my bait. I didn't see it until last second, but that's fine. Let's try it again. All this chunk rock up here, we should be able to pull somebody off of this stuff. Somebody's going to be trying to smash one against the bank. What do you boys want? Alright, let's drag a chatter. Drag a chatter. All those bluegills are down there. Initial impressions, I like this rod, or the reel. Well, I like both. The rod is everything I knew it would be. I love the IMAX Pro. I love the reboot they did on it. I'm gonna have to do some research and see what tech they do. They use the taper tech, which is one thing that drew me from Loomis, from using like Shimano glass rods. So Shimano, and you know, even like the St. Croix, when they first started building, oh, I just wrapped my Evo around a branch. I'm gonna have to go in there and get that. It's on the branch of that tree. I'm not giving up a bait for what they cost these days, that's for sure. We're just going to go crash this tree to get it back. Let me crash it that hard. I ain't trying to get all the spiders here. Put my bait back. That branch should be booking. I'm gonna reach down there and get it. Don't tell Gran. I'm supposed to be bending over and shit. Anything else on that branch as brittle as you can get, but not the actual piece of that branch itself. Hopefully there wasn't any toxic exposure from behind. Yep, Gramps still has his handy kayak net. Look at that fancy trolling motor. I need one of these for my kayak. They need to make a, I know they did the one for the back, but they need to, uh-oh. Ooh, I thought I had the chatterbait in the motor, but I was just dragging the branch. There we go. And we're back. This rod is so freaking light, it ain't funny. And sensitive. No luck so far. We've had a lot of nibbles from the bluegill and the crappie, but of course I didn't bring a bluegill crappie rod like I should have. But I should be fishing offshore realistically this time of year. But my most of my minnows shaking, it's all in my living room waiting for me to tie FGs on it, because I was late last night restringing those with new braid for our trip next week. And then I put line on my Mini-Max rod here. But I kind of just wanted to get out and test just to make sure everything was working good, looking good. And I actually wanted to get some time with this rod and reel. It's the 2026 IMX Pro rebrand that Loomis did. Absolutely fantastic. And then I got the Lew's new Hypermag, the Gen 3. So I kind of wanted to get some time on it so I can make sure everything's kind of dialed in and working good before I get on the water up there. I want to be as ready to fish when I get there as I can. Problem is, I've got a second graph coming, and we had hoped it would be here this week so I could get it from the rod locker. But is that a fish? There's a fish. See, we just needed Shane come in and talk to us about have we had any luck. And I got my net on the wrong side of the boat. So here's hoping I don't lose this bad boy jacking around. There we go, gang. There we go. Talk about it. Speak it to truth. And there it is. It ain't big, but it's a keeper. It'd keep in any derb that we were fishing in. A little 1 pounder. 1 pounder. We will take these all day long. First fish on the new rod reel combo. There we go. Throwing that Mini-Max Evo. Happiness is Gramps catching bass. There we go. Of course, you got to know we got to do the gram. If it phone, what are you doing? Oh, hey! Who still knows how to catch the dinks? That's right, Gramps do. Let's get him back in the water. Oh, hey! Who still knows how to catch the dinks? Ah! Feels good. Every bass. Always feels good. Oh, man. Of course, no bass meant more to me than the one this spring from the bank. After being gone so long. I'm still on this tree. Let's see if I can get off. Josh out there catching the dinks. Josh is going to catch a 19 or 20 before the day's over. Are you in the spot, bro? I was going to come down and fish your spot today. But I was like, I got to keep it close. Got to keep it close to home. We got the grandbabes coming. Got a live with Debo tonight. I still got to go home and get a million things ready. I was going to leave on Sunday, and then the kids planned Sweet Pea's birthday party for Sunday afternoon, which is fine. because, you know, fam first. So I'll roll out Monday morning instead of Sunday. That's okay. I just look forward to get up there, getting on the water. Is that another one or is that a stick? That might have been a stick. There we go. Gramps with the bass. Got one. Now let's get a 6-pounder. I gotta make sure I have my scale. I got my, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll turn around. Maybe it'll, I don't know if you guys can see the, let me turn around and look at that. Wait for my video to catch up. Uh-oh, I think I'm too close to this tree. I think I'm too close to the trees. Yeah, but you guys can see, I'll bend the camera down a skosh. I got my catch board mounted in the boat now. This is the one that's going to stay in here. I shouldn't be doing this because I don't want to hook this battery. You know, it'd be a whole lot easier if I just did this instead of that. But yeah, you see I got the catch board mounted down here, so I got my Fishing with the Gramps edition. But I took one of the old things I had from like way back that was on before they started making the newer ones. And that was one that used to be on my wall, but I just mounted it to the side of the boat. So there's the old Fishing with Gramps catch board. Because I think I'm going to start doing some of like the lose challenges on Fishing Chaos and stuff like that since I can fish in a boat. All that good stuff. But yeah, I got that mounted back there to the side, so it's always with me. And then I can just dip it in the water since it's tethered, and then lay it on the floor behind me and measure fish and get them back in quick. But yeah, it makes it nice. Oh, we're in 2 feet of water. We are on the shelf. No wonder we caught that fish. We're up here. We are up here where they are pushing stuff to eat. So I'm going to back out of this because they'll be roaming this whole shelf. I knew there was a spot where it did this. So I need to back off into the deeper water and cast into this and then drag this over. Oh, I think I left it too far. There we go. There we go. Do the old dragging the baby chatterwagon. Oh, nets. I like the Ego. I like the Ego nets. Are you fishing out of a boat, kayak, bank? What do you? I forget what your setup is. I'm thinking you have a boat. I'm just using my Ferry Bill kayak net, but I think it's Ego makes the ones that's got the poles that, and I need to get one dedicated for the boat because this one's gonna have to stay in with the kayak when I get back to that life again. But I think Ego has a really good one. It's got the silicone netting, and that keeps your crankbaits and chatterbaits and all your treble baits from getting caught up in the webbing. So it's like a rubber silicone kind of based. I had one of those for the kayak before, but they were a little heavier for what I was using. But I think I want to get one of the Ego nets because it's got that pole. You push it out and it extends, and then you can kind of poke it out and pull it back in when you're netting your fish. Let you kind of reach out there a little farther. Like with me having a very deep, you know, my boat is way above the surface level more than bass boats. I mean, that's why I have to have a 57-inch trolling motor because I'm in a deep V. But so I want to get something I can really dip and extend and reach. But I think Ego makes the I think it's Ego that makes those like extending dip nets, and I've liked their stuff in the past too. Oh, you are in a kayak? Duh, I should have known that. All right, dude. How have we not got together and fished yet? I'm gonna get my kayak next year, and then we got to do that. We haven't done that yet. Zach is wanting to get a kayak as well for when he comes back home. Because he's over by Sugar Creek. I need to talk to him about that too, because he's still down in the St. Louis area. But he and I have talked. I was actually going to sell him one, but the one I had wasn't the one he was looking for. He was looking for just a pure paddle, and I realized the one I had pedal drive in it. But yeah, he's wanting a paddle for him and the pup up on Sugar Creek. But yeah, we'll definitely have to get together and do that. Go out to Atterbury, get with Matt and them boys. So much good stuff up there. I need to take off of this since the jig might be a little too heavy. Actually, I may take that drop shot off and do that. Put one of those baby. Do I still have him? Nope. Somebody hit it. He just didn't get it. Got him now. Nope, he let go again. He's just grabbing the tail. That might have been a crappie. That might have been a crappie. He hit that twice. That's weird. He actually bit the tail of my Z-Man bait off. Huh. That might have been something else. That might have been a toothier. I don't know. He bit my tail off. Throw that in the back of the boat and get another trailer. Put a flush on this baby, this Minimax. I probably should pull out a shad colored chatterbait as well and mix it up. Oh, that is not straight of practice. I should tie on one. I got the new Z-Man HD chatterbaits, the bigger hook one. I should pull that out and tie it on too. And probably put a crankbait on this. Yeah, just like that, I'm out in 32 feet of water. I thought we took up last year. Yeah. There's the wind that I knew was coming today. But it's alright, that's alright, it's coming the right direction. It's not coming out of the east, it's coming out of the west. I should put a crankbait on this and pull out crank, and because I want to test this out for cranking. We'll get a little bit closer in and we'll make a quick change. I want to throw that new HD chatterbait as well, the new jackhammer. Actually ordered those from Z-Man. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna test out throwing some square bills on this too. Get around this corner so I don't have as much wind noise while we're retying. put the oldie spot lock on. I got spoiled having that in my kayak and didn't have it in my boat, and then I was like, I don't have spot lock. This sucks. Alright. The spot lock button. Oops, I need to move out here some first. A little too close to the bank. Hello, boat that came by and threw all the waves at me. Appreciate you. Alright, let's swap this out real quick. Crankbait, and then we're going to get that new chatterbait out. Test it out. Yeah, there we go. That's a good looking. That's the new Chatterbait Elite Evo HD for heavy duty. Good thing for spot lock. Yeah, I was going to start out with the shad colored one, but there's so many bluegill in here right now. Well, you know what? Let's throw a bluegill colored crankbait and a shad colored chattergramps. Because there are shad in this lake and crappie. And we'll throw on a bluegill colored square bill. See if I can get this plastic protector off. There we go. Alright, the new chatterbait Evo HD. I always throw the 3/8 ounce. I know I need to get half ounce for like fishing grass flats and shit like that, but I'm just slowly building the arsenal back up. But double hook keeper, got a little bit of weight right to keep it balanced. This is the Z-Man, whatever. It's not the spike. It's the cheddar something or another. Someday I'll start remembering things like names of baits and tackle and hooks and things, but you know what? My recovery takes as long as my recovery takes. It's funny, I'm still adjusting the dial, even though this is an SLX XT DC reel. See if we catch a giant on the first cast. The water's got a little bit of tint, you know, it's clear, but it's got a little bit of tint to it, probably from the wind. Hopefully we've still got signal. I was a little bit too close to the bank earlier, but hopefully we got the Starlink. There we go. Casted that all up in the wind. Yeah, we're out here in a whole lot deeper water. 20 feet out here where I'm at versus the 3 or 4 that it is right there on that bank. All right, let's go ahead and get the old crankbait tied on. These are the evolution boxes I was talking about with the much better seal, grip, and all that stuff. Look at that big, fat, beautiful baby. What color do I want to go with? I kind of like that. Do I want to go with the little bitty one? Oh, screw it. Let's go big. Let's go big. Yeah, they say we're going to get 10 to 15 mile an hour winds today, and they're starting to come in. But I knew which way it was coming, so I need to get around this corner and finish fishing this side and then get over to the other side so that we'll be out of the wind on the opposite bank. Where if I think I'm going to catch a smallmouth in this place, it's going to be over there. But hopefully the wind muff on my mic is doing its job. As long as my mic is still on. Yep, it's still on. I need to get out. Get away from the sun being at my back too, because if it does heat up, that's going to heat up that back glass. Alright, there we go. Let's check out the Squirble. The 6 Sense Squirble. 100X Crush in one of their million bluegill patterns. Alright, that's a little heavier, so I need a little more on the magnet. Try that 6. I need to get this loop out. Get this bad boy dialed in. Still don't have this. I gotta find my line conditioner and give it a spray. Let's see, I just pulled the loop into my reel. Gotta find my line conditioner and give this line a spray. Alright, spot lock off. I could have swore I just felt a bite on that. Oh yeah, that baby is sensitive. I feels it. All right. Get a wind-blown point up here. Well, we're going to park on it for a minute, make several casts, see if we can't catch any bass hanging around on the back side of that wind-blown point, waiting for stuffs to get blown around. I gotta remember to slow my reel down. It's a 7-gear ratio, so if you're on a crankbait, I need to slow it down a little bit. Even though I'm moving forward, it still makes it easier for pulling it in too. But as long as I feel the wiggle wobble that I'm looking for, we're good. Comes another pontoon boat. On a pontoon. Making waves and catching a race on the roof. Act like you don't want to. On the pontoon. Video demonetized. Music rights. Really? That's singing. Yeah, see, it's at 13 feet out here, so that shelf is right up on the bank right now. Boy, that bait looks good in the water, I know that much. Come on, fishy, fishy. Where you boys at? Somebody come up here and slurp. Get the slurp alert. Give me a G in the chat for Gramps if you're still out there watching. Want to make sure we're still connected. G in the chat. Let me know you're out there. Let me know we're still connected via the Gramps net on the old star linkage. The star link to bring you on the non-action with me. Only caught him on a shade, you're on a juicy spot. Yeah. We'll lock her in here for a minute, make several casts around this point. Throw the kitchen sink at him. I'm gonna just save this until I get back on the shallower, because this river edge comes right up to this, so I'm gonna drag a jig or a drop shot down through here for a little bit. I say jig, I got that rage bug tied on it. I like this drop shot, but I'm tempted to take it off and put my little tube on there. Pull that tube across these rocks and give them a cracking. Yeah, the drop shot's gonna get hung up too much. Yeah, and my spot lock is telling me it's too close to the trees to get a lock in, so that's not good. Just no. Yeah, this rock is too chunky dunky for the old drop shot. So we're gonna switch to a tube real quick. Ooh, we're gonna go with the little. We're gonna go with the juvie crawl. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with a jig tube combo over the top of these rocks up here. This might be something. Fish. I have to retie a new leader on this one before we go north too. We tying a bunch of FG knots tonight, or Sunday night. I will generally tie a polymer knot with anything 15 pounds and over, but anything on fluoro 12 pounds and under, I still do like a San Diego jam. Realistically, I could probably, if it was 12 and over, but like 10 and under, I like the San Diego, just because I don't want that knot biting into itself. All right, let's see if we can get somebody creepy crawling along these rocks. This one might be a little light for this medium, but we'll see. Oh, it says we're still live, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, got that in the rocks. I got to keep it popping. Might have to go back to the wacky just to keep it out of in the rocks. And get up here and tear this prop up. Yep. What the hell did I catch that on? Huh. Back there banging my back prop on it next. I thought I got on the other side of where it went in, but apparently not. That one's even too big for the rocks. I'm gonna have to just crank over it, call it good. So I may not get that one back. I'm here jacking around with these rocks. I'm gonna have to break that off and get out of here. Yep. Oh, we got it back. Get out of the rocks. Get away, get away, get away. Tear up the motor. Yep. I know. Oh, we got a stick. We got a stick. Got a big stick. Oh, nope. Dropped it. Oh, you're good, bro. That was okay. Now I know what it was doing. It sent a message to my trolling motor. Or did I actually check? Oh. Prop looks fine. Get it to reset. There we go. All right. Just needed a proper reboot. All right, let's go back to cranking the rocks instead of getting hung up and everything. Is that disaster avoided? Yeah, we're in 26 foot of water out here. Closer to the rocks. Maybe not. That's for sure. Because that's where the bass be, up there chasing them crawls, the bluegills and the crappies. There's a little fish. Don't know what it is, but something hit it right away. Little bass. One of that crankbait. Now it's out of his mouth and down his side. Here we go. Hold still, bro. I ain't trying to catch one in the hand. That crankbait's bigger than you are, bro. What you doing? A little green, the dinks. He hit that bait as soon as it hit the water. There we go. That's two. Is that a sticker? No, that was crankbait banging off a rock. Oh, there we go. Keep clanging and banging, baby. want. Banging the crankbait off the rocks. Get in there a little more so I can really work that. Look at this. This is bluegill trying to eat the bluegill. They're almost the same colors. This little dude is trying to basically eat a little version of himself. Let's go. Boink. All right, bluegill. Hey, bro, look. Me and you can try to spy me all you want, but you hit this crankbait in my hand, we gonna fight. All right, you get in there and go feed a bass. But you know what? I'll take catching them any day because they're all fun and they're all a blessing. Every single one, I'll catch all the fish. All the fish. We'll take all the fish. All the fish. Let's go. I'm gonna catch a bass. If I was fishing a tournament, I'd say put some money in my pocket, but that never happens because it's always taking money out of my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a big one. This is freaking awesome. Oh, bass fishing, fishing in general. I'm just glad to be out here. I keep saying I'm going to quit talking about all the crap from last year. I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you guys how much it hurt just sitting at home. I was so blessed to have a wife to take care of me and get me back together, and I'm grateful, good Lord, and the doctors up at the VA. But now that I know that I'm better, I can share with y'all I was crying like a little bitch all the time. I wanted to be out fishing with my friends, doing the stuff and things, missing everybody. But I'll tell you what though, I still get tears thinking about it when my grandbabies come over and see me. Every time Peyton would come over, because she's the one that lives in town, she would get Bingo, my frog, who I always made sure I had sitting beside me when she come in, because she brought him to me at the hospital. But the first thing she would say is, "Papa, how's your heart?" And she still does. And I show her. And when she was here a week ago, last weekend, when she spent the night, she come in, "Papa, how's your heart?" And I was ready for her. I was like, my heart is good. Oh, them babies make me cry. So special. We don't get to see Sky and Lila as much anymore because Mom and Dad divorced. But they're still great friends, great parents, and we completely understand. But they're still two great parents. But since they split time, we used to split time with them to give each other a break. But now that they split time, we got to be mindful of any time we get them. It takes time away from Shane, but we're getting them this for an overnight tonight, and then have to take them back up tomorrow. because he's been working, with the emergencies that's going on up north. He's basically been sleeping in his emergency trailer for the last, couple of weeks. All coordinate and do their stuff and things. And but yeah, it'll be fun having him down here to spend the night, because we just didn't get to see him that much during the summer. Now that they're back in school and everything, so you got to be mindful of such things, because you're just the grandparents. But we appreciate every second we get with him, trust me. So Lila and Peyton both have birthdays this week, and so Lila's little birthday party we're having at our house tonight, she'll do to get home this week with her mom and dad and them. And then Peyton's birthday party's tomorrow afternoon, so we're doing a party for, did I catch a fish or did I catch a stump? I caught a stick because it seems to be moving, but not really. We're going to go in here and see. I cast it right next to the stump, so I either caught the stump or a fish caught me and took me into the stump. But I think I'm on the very edge of said stump. Oh, there it is, we're out. Yeah, you can see the stump there. But, we got to be very mindful of their time too, and, we get it. And the girls are getting older too, so, once they get into high school and all that, Granny and Grampy ain't as cool. There's another little bass. Come here, buddy. Number 3. We'll take you all day. Oh, little. Another 12-inch tinker. Come here, homie. Where'd you go? Bro, I can't take the picture. Torment the Debo. Oh, my thumb's wet. Debo! Dink number 3. Let's go. We ain't catching the bigs, but we're catching them. But I'm happy as hell to be out here. Let's go. We threw all these dinks and find us a big one. Big one's probably offshore, like I said, but I don't care. We just fishing and catching, finding some fish. I think Jeremy's out on dogwood today with our buddy Josh, another Army veteran. I'm gonna meet up with them when I get back from Wisconsin with the boat, because it's a lake over by Boggs, but it's supposed to be like lots of lily pads and lots of grass. It's actually the place my uncle loves to fish, but it's got a lot of stumps in it too. But I need to get my boat over there, because I want to do some frog fishing and some chatterbait fishing. I saw a fish flash at this crankbait right at the boat and turn around. They like that bluegill color, we see that for sure. Crankbait been doing the work, banging it over them rocks till your heart is full when she is round. Yes, sir. Boy, they certainly do feel it, don't they? It's so funny because I've never really struggled with mental health, as like a lot of my family and friends, especially my veteran friends and all that too. But I know depression runs in the family and places and things like that. But over the last couple of months, I have been, and and I'm gonna be seeing a doc about it here when I get back, when I do my annual checkup, and Shane, my oldest, he was an Army medic and would know, but he's the one that's been treated for PTSD like a lot because of his time in Kandahar. But he was explaining to me people that even people that go on ambulance rides, suffer from PTSD because it was a traumatic event. And it's like, he was explaining to me because, you know, my surgery was 12 hours and not like the 3 that they expected. Apparently there was a lot that my mind during all of that was shielding me from. And then even when I was in the coma for the, you know, like week after, because normally it's a 3-hour surgery. You're in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. You go through a recovery, make sure that you can walk and everything. And then they teach you what you got to do while you're recovering at home. And the fact that I was in there for almost a month, and see, I keep saying I'm gonna quit talking about this, but sometimes I just have to talk because it's literally therapy for me just to talk about it, and because I feel like it's such a crutch. But I know that that's not true since I've had, you know, anxiety attacks, and I've never ever had anxiety attacks until after this. But you know, so sometimes I just talk, and if I'm on camera, I'm on camera, and if I'm not, then I won't be. But you know, apparently my mind hid me from a lot of things because there was a lot of shit that went down, you know, during my surgery and after my surgery that my mind was hiding me from. And you know, that's just part of it, and that's something for now at least I'm gonna have to deal with. And you know, with time and everything, I think I'll be okay. But my mind takes me back to the dreams that I was having while whatever was going on, and it's messed with me. You know, and it hadn't really messed with me when I got home or for months, but as they came up on this year anniversary, it's like when July hit, and from the time that I went to the hospital till the time I came home a year later, something just busted right up there by that stump. And we're going to get up here and catch whatever it was, because somebody is chomping on something. So that's not the cast. We're going to have to do that, fix our line, and to make that cast again. I gotta do a cleansing cast, I like to call it. There we go, get that loop out of my line. Forget to get this crankbait in here to make sure I don't get too close to that log. Something pushed something right up against that log right here. And then I threw the crankbait onto the log. That's a problem with being good at casting, is you have to look where you want it to go, not at the object. Because I'm so good at casting, and yes, I just said that out loud. I'm so good at casting, if I look at something, that's where the freaking bait goes. So I have to look next to what I'm casting at so that it lands where I'm looking instead of like on the stump. I do this all the time. And that's just, you know, 40 years of fucking bass fishing. Pardon my French. I gotta remember I'm still alive. You know, but that's part of it sometimes, is you have to be cognizant of what your abilities are, and when I talk, I'm fishing with my mind's eye. And so my mind is doing the work, which is why I hit that damn stump. I mean, you can see I wanted to cast to the right side of that stump, and it's on the right side of that stump, but there was a fish or something pushing something up that bank that's not there anymore. But yeah, that's the other thing, you know, when I'm talking, I'm looking at where I want it to go, but my mind is doing the work. It's kind of, I need to write a book someday on fishing. It's kind of like archery, you know, when people shoot traditional bows, you know, you're looking at where you're wanting to go. You're not like, I'm gonna hold this at 3 degrees and let it go with the velocity of the blow. No, once you get good at something, you look at it, and your body just does the work. Your mind does the work, and a lot of people don't realize that, but yeah, that's how it goes. All these guys use their catfish boat. Not so much the catfish from, but to move to this point and fish. So I'm going to have to go deep around them, because they're fishing one of the points I want them to be on. Scoop dog! You know what, dude? I have got to, I'm going to have my grandbabes tomorrow before a birthday party. Boy, should you go give girls ice cream before a birthday party? Damn it. I don't think they're going to be back here in time. What time do you close, Scoop? Are you open today? They're going to be coming back down from Indy, but I don't think it's going to be till later in the day. Dang it. One of these days when I have them down here, I got to take them up to your shop. All right, I'm gonna make a couple longer casts, and I'm gonna give these guys a wide berth because I know they're out here trying to catch some catfish. And I don't want to mess with their fishing. But I appreciate the Scoop Dog popping in. He's got an ice cream shop in Bloomington. Go ahead and tell everybody the name of it so they can hit you up, bro. If I don't get out there far enough, tell me to go out farther. I want to make sure I don't catch you, mess you guys up. I feel you, but maybe I'll stir them up a little bit for you. I've caught some smaller bass on a bluegill, but nothing bigger. Figure by the time I get to the other side of the lake or on this dam, I get a little bit of shade, but I don't think the sun's high enough yet. Seemed like a ton of crappie and bluegill on the trees just on the other side of this bank in that shade. I couldn't keep them off my crankbait. I'd like a chatterbait through here, so let's see. Oh yeah, I definitely want to get in your shop when I got the gram babes down. Somebody gave it a tickle. Oh, I saw a bluegill chase it all the way up. Actually, that was like a 6-inch bass. He chased that all the way up to the boat. Tried to hit it as soon as I lifted it out. Get over here in the shade on this other bank. There was a boat when I got here, which is why I didn't start there. feels like a tree or a limb. Isn't that insane? Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, they look at this as kayak anglers as like, oh, they're like, we're some subspecies. We're not fishing like they are. You know, the spider guys are probably crappie fishing and all that too, but it's just like, so many people are so damn rude. If I see anybody on the bank, I especially try to get out of their way, because I know how much more work it is for them to get where they are than they've only got that reach from there. I don't know if I'll be able to get back here or not and see how skinny it is. That might be too skinny. I need to turn and just cast from here. Not long ago when I was out here, the water was up that hill into the tree line up there. All of that was in the deep. That's so skinny, I might have to get that wacky rig out there. I don't think I've caught a wacky rig fish this year. And it's like my primary go-to bait most of the time, but we've been playing with the urgent bait a lot too. And prickly pear's been catching them pretty good, so. It wasn't long ago that water was all the way up the base of those trees. Not seeing much on this bank either. It's got some rock, but it's a lot of rock and mud. We'll get around here to this corner, fish down across the dam, and then that chunk rock all through there, and that marina right there. There's some good ones in there too. Used to be I put in here along these rocks and I catch them pretty good on a buzz bait or topwater early in the morning. Need to grab that crawl in this flatter rock, the smaller crushed stuff. Probably do really good in there. Let's do that quick. Oh yeah. Putter Walker boys that get on them. They've been fishing these waters for a long time. They'll go down to the spillway on the other side of the dam. He caught He caught a 5-pounder down there a few years ago. I've actually done some videos down there too before I knew who they were. I've caught some good 3 and 4 pounders down around the bend bank fishing. I like going there like when it gets too cold to get on the water. But they've caught good ones down there around below the spillway. And then they'll go to the Lake Lemon spillway and catch them down there good too. But yeah, I'm glad to see him taking off. He's really learned to edit. He spends way more time at it than I do. He just puts out quality content. And for somebody who works and grinds as hard as a regular day job that he does, if he can have success on YouTube and Facebook and make a living doing it, man, so be it. I love seeing that for him. Not something I want to do. I mean, I love my job, and I'll retire from it in a few years, and then cheat those. The guys that actually go out and put in the work and grind, especially the guys that are doing just fishing content, but not about all the reels and the reviews and all that, but they're just fishing. Those are the guys I like to watch. But I mean, I get it. There's plenty of them that do the other kind of content too, because people are always shopping. But the guys who just go fish, that's what I need to be doing. Just make that kind of content. This right here. If I'm going to talk about something about it, talk about it on the water. But that's why I bought the Starlink, because I was like, what the hell, why not? Tell you what though, our lives next week should be popping. I won't be on the Dead Sea, that's for sure. We're gonna be up in Wisconsin chasing big smallies. Probably Tuesday through probably Friday morning. Then after that I gotta work, help run the tournament. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, we're gonna get out there and have some fun. Get away from the bank a little bit. Let's see, 11 o'clock. 74 degrees. I don't even have a heat threat today. I can fish till 1 or 2 o'clock if I wanted to. Oop. Pay attention before I run out of water. see if there's anything around these buoys. Shit out here. Let's go ahead and get across. I made a funny post on Facebook to get a bunch of people to click and comment on a picture. And some kid over in Ohio was like, dude, your Facebook profile picture is pretty dorky. I don't know if you should be talking. He's like, yeah, but we popped up on your gaydar. So, yeah, that tells us everything we need to know about you. Fucking. Yes, I'm trolling on Facebook because it's monetized. Why not? Can't always just post pics of my grandkids and fish. But if I make 10 bucks off of one stupid post, oh, hold on, I gotta take a picture for Grant. She'll love that. All right, photo. Turn around. Where do you go? I'm getting ready to float to the wrong side of the buoys, but it is what it is. It's for the grand. Zoom way in. This is a video for Gran. Here's a loon. Got a loon at the dam, Granny. This video's for you. Look at there, look at there. There's your first loon sighting of the year. Alright, post, reel. Start a new video. over. Starting to get some shade on that rock. She'll like that. I like eagles. She loves. Come here, I'm not gonna catch a fish up all these rocks. Probably won't. It won't be until I get up there. Alright, let me edit that so I can edit post. People release back. At the dam, Granny. This video's. There we go. Make my baby happy. Uh-oh, I got something on my glasses. It's like right over my eyeball and I can't see. See if I can get the sun to hurry up and scooch over. You said we got a little shade line on there. That's what I'm looking to do. But the channel comes right through here and goes down to the dam. So we're in 50 feet of water right here, and it's like 1 feet right next to the bank. I just beat the shit out of that buoy. Ooh, and I didn't pitch that anywhere near as far as it needs to be. All right, we still got people here. Bob's Bassing and stuff. Welcome, brother. Yeah, we're just out here playing with the Starlink, trying to find some fish. And some rods and reels dialed in, even though I got more that I got to get done this weekend. We got a trip to Wisconsin this week. Taking off Monday, coming back next Sunday. But trying to get everything kind of electronics dialed. I just put on new electronics, the trolling motor. Trying to get everything rigged. We're going to go chase big smallies up around the Green Bay, Sturgeon Bay area in Winnett, Wisconsin. It's on the Wisconsin-Michigan border, I believe. So we're just kind of trying to get everything dialed in boat-wise, because my boat was also sitting on the trailer, not square, and I don't want to drive 8 hours with my boat not perfectly square on the trailer for that long. But yeah, we're just making sure the graphs are working, the trolling motor's working. I got one more graph coming, but it's not going to be here until Wednesday. But I'm actually having that delivered up to our Airbnb in Wisconsin. So I'll get that going, but I've got the graph mount and everything at the console ready to go. So I can actually take this one and put it back there if I want to. I'll actually do that when I wrap up here and end the live, just to make sure the back transducer's connected and working. And there was a bluegill hit that right when that hit the, what do I got? Yeah, I got a little bluegill hit my little crawl here. He's being pretty aggressive. Yeah, you get back in there. You're not even big enough to take home and fry, homie. But I'd love to find some smallies along these rocks someday. I keep saying, the boys bluegills are just tearing this up. Should have brought my bluegill rod, but these ain't even the bigger ones that you want. But if this water would clear up and clean up, I just feel like these rocks would be someplace that would hold smallies. Because they're in this lake, I just haven't found them yet. I got a spot or two I'm going to check once I get back from Wisconsin, where I know there's a bunch of chunk rock and things like that. But today it's about testing, but I figured I'd get up and go live for a few hours and and try to catch some fish just to get everything dialed in. Got these rods good to go. I got 3 or 4 more at home. I need to retie some FG knots on because I just put new braid on those. Those are my minnow shaking and my Neds. And I'm waiting on another reel to show up. But that one I'm actually having delivered up at the Airbnb in Wisconsin too, since I'm driving up Monday. But the guys, I know they're going to be staying in the house. They're going to get there Sunday because they're all down at the Bassmaster event at the Fox and River. And they're going an hour north for the Kayak Adventure Series event. But I'm going to take my boat up there and fish, and then I'll help them run the tournament when Friday and Saturday comes around. But yeah, I'll be staying with Christine Fisher and Guillermo Gonzalez. Debo's going to be up there. I'm sure the averagely aggressive anglers will also be there. Jeff and Paul, friends of the channel. Yeah, we had fun fishing with, that was more of a learning day than a video making day. We had a fun trip with Dylan Grubb from the Extreme Outdoorsman channel up on St. Clair. Had a rough day. We had winds out of the east, but we did catch a lot of good smallies. Didn't break my PB of 20 inches, but that's okay. We tied it at 19 and a half, and they caught a lot of other good ones. I think he caught one that was over 20. But we had a good time that day. He was basically teaching me some techniques for lake fishing smallies, since I've got a lake down here now that I know that's about an hour south of me that's got some good smallies in it. And I've actually caught some out of there this year. But I was going to go down there today, but I was just like, I need to get up here and do a quick stream and get back and get things ready. Got my granddaughters coming tonight. Got a granddaughter birthday party tomorrow. Was that an eagle or a different bird? I didn't see what it was that popped up there. Might have been a crane that just popped up in the branches. Yep, I think I let that get sunk down in the rocks. Oh, that was a buzzard. I got to talking and let my tube get a little too much in the rocks. Actually, that's in some trees. There's a lot of garbage in the water from when the water was up way high. We're gonna go crashing into the bank. Let's see if I get this juvie craw off this branch here. There we go. Got it unhooked. Motor turn. There we go. But man, if this water would just clear back up, all this rock near deep water, I know there's got to be some smallies around here somewhere. Someday, maybe. But I don't know. They may be up farther up. I know they like clear water, and this stuff stays dirty quite a bit because of all the boat traffic out there. But I just feel like if I put time into it, I would find some. But again, they may be farther north. I should nose hook a fluke and throw it up there instead of that wacky rig for a bit. They like that. Hey, if I say it, let's do it. We ain't caught none on a wacky rig yet, so let's see if they want a Josh Shrenko special, the nose hook fluke. Normally if I start talking about a technique and then start doing it, that's when we start catching fish. When we plastics, there's our flukes. But yeah, I'll be live a lot next week, Tuesday through Friday, from Green Bay, Sturgeon Bay, and that Pata something river. I can't remember the name of it. That runs right through Winnett. But I guess there's a lot of, it's like a walleye, a lot of big smallies. So we shall see. But for now, I'm gonna pop this fluke over these a little closer. Either they are or they aren't. So far this year, they haven't been because of all the stupid rain we get. A month ago, that water was like 14 feet higher than it is right now. This place was 14 foot above pool. My understanding of fish with the river channel running right up. I mean, I'm in 12 feet of water right now. I go 10 feet that way, 50 feet of water. There should be fish. Because they'll come up and fish this shelf. I know the largemouth will, but with all the potential for crawl, and we know there's bluegill because they keep tapping everything we throw in there. But yeah, so far this year, nothing. Now when I get down to this marina, we'll probably catch some bass down there. But I would just think that if I was going to smash them, this bank right here should just be everything that I would think bass would be on. Well, there's another crappie or bluegill taking my fluke. But yeah, so far this year it's just not been. But you can know everything and not know anything. But we'll see. Oh, the flooding up north. Yeah, my son's been up there. My son works for the state, and he's up there with the emergency management team. I think someday he might even take over being the emergency management director as the other guy retires. But yeah, he works for safety for the state, and he's been up there since the rain started, living in one of the emergency management trailers, coordinating efforts, and doing his thing up there. He hasn't hardly been home. I know he's not sleeping at all, but I mean, he's used to long nights and hard days after serving in Kandahar as an Army medic. He is cool and calm under fire, so to speak. So he's up there doing his thing. But yeah, hopefully they get the water down and they can get the power back on for everybody and get all that cleanup and whatnot going. It's never easy. Everybody's bitching about FEMA and so forth, but FEMA still exists. It just exists in a different capacity. It's mostly the states that handle this coordination anyway, because it's their state. They know the people and all of that too. People got to the point where they depended too much on FEMA to do things, and they're just like a government connection to like other government agencies and then local resources. How do I know? When I was in the Army, I worked with FEMA as an Army resource in several different disasters. Hurricane Andrew back in the day in the 90s. You know, I coordinate a lot of Army and National Guard unit, things with FEMA and, like the Department of Army. But yeah, it's flooding up there is something else. Boy, there should be one next to that tree. Let's keep moving. Let these folks get back to their privacy. It's one of those things where I talk. It's like I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. All those rocks, skinny water. Yeah, pop this right over the top of them and get somebody big in there. The crappie are nibbling at it too. But I figure there's got to be bass. But the sun, there's not enough shade on it yet that I want to be coming through here in the evening. This be the juice. It's just like the worst time right now. It's just I'm not ready to get off the water yet. yeah, he is a good kid. All mine are. And they're all Army veterans. And they all have served in various many ways. Even my daughter, who has a nursing degree that doesn't work as a nurse, she works in hospital staffing. But she bounced in all of the COVID hotspots in the worst places for like that whole year. So I mean, I'm proud of all of mine. They have all served in various ways. Youngest was infantry with the National Guard and Reserves. Middle son was Army signal dude. He was in Korea. Just yeah, each of them their own different thing in different way. Kind of like me and their mom. Served back in the I served in the 80s and 90s, and she was in the 90s. Come on, fish. Yeah, I was a signal guy and ended up in a line unit guarding the border in Germany. And she's an Army flight medic, was in Korea and some places down south we can't talk about. Many of us served in places we can't talk about because a lot of that shit doesn't make the public. The Army's always got something going on somewhere. A lot of people don't know we have a lot of troops in Djibouti, Africa, just because it's a flashpoint for places and things. But yeah, that's somewhat sort of common knowledge, but yeah. It's one of those things. We got people everywhere, still all over Europe. Part of the job. Appreciate it, Bob. Yeah, we do. I love going live like this. I have this boat. I bought it back during COVID. I'm normally fishing out of a kayak. It's when you'll see me the most, just because I have a lot of friends that kayak fish and we like doing things together. But we fish like Bassmaster events and Kayak Adventure Series events. You're new, so you probably don't know I had a heart attack last year and had a 12-hour open heart surgery. And I was in the hospital for several weeks after that. And it's been a wild year recovering. I'm great, don't get me wrong. Right before that, which actually saved my life, and the reason I'm not fishing in the kayak is we had a bunch of tornadoes in southern Indiana last year, and me and my son were out cleaning up my yard, and I gave myself there's fish, or is that a fish? He took me under a branch. Somebody hit it. That might have been a crappie that took me under a stick, because whatever it is ain't moving. I felt it, and then I didn't set the hook fast enough. But I think a crappie probably took me into a tree branch. Anywho, I'm supposed to be going on a kayak fishing trip up to Minnesota, but doing some yard cleanup, ended up giving myself a double hernia, which kept me from going on that trip, which was the following week. Well, the following week's when I had my heart attack. So I tell people that a tornado saved my life, because if I'd have been up, what in the world do I have? Do I have a rock? I have a rock on my hook. This fish, all right, hold on, trolling motors. My trolling motor is connected to my, you guys aren't gonna believe this. I have a rock on my bait. I gotta get it up so I can get my bait and flute back. I thought I had a bass that was like coming sideways or something, but well, I guess I dropped the rock down into something else. No, I can't even pick it up. It was like a flat slice of rock. But I'm trying to bang this enough that I can either get. I'm not supposed to bend over it like this, but I'm going to. Gran, don't get mad at me. Get ready to do it again. Violating my terms of agreement. Hopefully you're not watching the stream. This is so funny. Goes to show the quality of good line and a hook, though. If I can get this up here without. slipping my hand back into the water. Oh shit, almost fell out of the boat. Alright, let's get my center of gravity back in the boat. Look at this. You talk about a good quality hook and line. This is an owner finesse hook. They got wedged into the one of the ledges in this rock. So I had a fish pull it and then drop it and then went down into this rock. Look at that. That's a quality hook and knot right there. But since we did that, we're going to go ahead and retie. Just because we don't want to lose a big fish. Because we're being stupid. Yep. Good quality Seagar Invisex and an owner Nico finesse hook. That is so funny. Yeah, who's caught a rock before? Yeah, definitely a 3-pounder. Soft sandstone. Yeah, rock bass. Yeah, don't tell Gran I was bending over trying to fall out of the boat. Anywho, so I was can't kayak fish because I could never get the hernia surgery because after my open heart, I had to stay on blood thinners for a year because, you know, you can't do surgery on somebody on blood thinners or you'll never get the blood to stop. Anywho, so I just had my 1-year annual checkup. Heart is perfect, beautiful, awesome, and all that. And then I met with my general surgeon who's going to do my hernia surgery, and she's going to wait until I meet with my new cardiologist because now I've been transferred from the surgery team to like a different cardiologist at the VA hospital up in Indy, and I got so he can kind of go through all my stuff and get to know me and probably do a stress test to check my fitness for having a surgery, so that then after that my surgeon, I get the feeling I gotta lift my motor because we're got the back end in the rocks. There we go. Anywho, so yeah, long story longer, I've got to meet with my cardiologist so he can give me the go-ahead to have surgery, and then have my general surgeon schedule my hernia surgery so she can repair the 2, and then also the 3rd that she found. I gotta quit letting that sink. I just had somebody else run me up under another log. I'm supposed to be popping this over the rocks, and I keep fishing them like I'm throwing something else, and that's exposed to it. So you can't throw that near wood. Stupid. You're pulling from the wood, not dropping that onto them in the wood. But again, good quality line. I think this is the this braid is the Power Pro. Let's see which way. I'm gonna go crashing into this log while I open the bail. As the wind carries me back over the wrong way. I'm running back up along this log so I can. Alright, where's my fluke? Anyway, so yeah, this winter is when I should have the hernia surgery, and then I can start kayak fishing next year. Because I can't be dragging kayaks in and out of lakes and rivers and, you know, the way we like to do them. So that's no big deal. All right, another stick. All right, let's see. stuff out of the lake today. Oh, all the stuff except for bass. There we go. Thank you, tree branch. There we go. Throw my combo in the water. Anyway. Anywho, so yeah, I updated my. This is a boat I bought during COVID. It was a very simple fishing boat for taking my grandkids and kids out to catch bluegill and crappie, but we recently upgraded it with a better trolling motor and grass because this is my bass fishing machine for the next year. So that's what we're doing, is we're out here dialing all this in. Since I took my crappie boat and made it into a bass fishing boat. Because normally when I'd come out with the kids and grandkids, we just, bobbers and sticks and just, fish brush piles and stuff we see that's obvious, but didn't really have any high-end electronics on it, just enough to kind of keep it from crashing into the bank. Come on, try to get this thing stuck again. Anywho, yeah, so that's the long story short of what we're doing here. We just upgraded the boat, and then we've been fishing out of this until I can get back into a kayak next year. You just got the 10-year story of fishing with Gramps. Yeah, we bank fish, we boat fish, we kayak fish with a lot of our friends around the country. Oh, it's all good, dude. I appreciate anybody stopping by. There's a lot of branches here. Of course, like I said, this water's been up. All right, so we are going to go stay off the bottom. We're going to go back to, you know what? Let me throw this crankbait through here, even though there's so many branches. So many branches. Let's go back to the fuzzy. We're going back to the cat toy, pulling it over the rock. We're just going to pop it and see if we see anybody through here. I need to hurry up and get up here to this marina because there's going to be some fish up here. And I need to go catch them, even though I keep telling myself there's going to be some through here. And I just ain't on them yet. But this bank has been pretty much mudded out with all the floods and everything. But I just know there's fish in here. I just got to catch them. Alright, we got some fish right out here in front of us. We're going to see if we can get them to play. My chair keeps trying to lean forward. This new trail motor is so powerful though, it's not even funny. My old one was a 12 volt 55 pound thrust. This one with the 24 volt motor that I have in here is like 88 pounds. Absolutely insane at pulling this 17-foot low. Somebody suspended out there. Let's see if I can see these on the scope. Got the sun behind me, so it's a little harder, but still don't know that I'm lined up right to see my bait on the scope. I've been trying to do that. See if I can figure out where my bait is. Didn't bring my jerk bait rod, didn't bring my minnow shaking rod, none of it. That's alright. We're just checking out the rest of this stuff. I know I gotta reline this reel when we get home because there's probably only like 50 yards of line left on it. But it's the one I use more than anything. A lot of people have been catching big fish on these this year. I've been catching them good down on Patoka on this. Just I haven't caught shit up here on Monroe yet, just little ones. But most of the places I fished have been so flooded. I just went to this place, this ramp today because everything is dialed in. I'm gonna take this graph off the front on the boat around where it's working. The transducer that I put on in the back. Oh man, dude. What we're finding out about those shots, it's just scarier and scarier. I can go on with a million different conspiracies. I think why they did what, but they hurt a lot of people. They hurt a lot of people with all that back then. Yeah, they made it mandatory for or work for the government. Just such horseshit. You know, threaten somebody's job over a fucking shot that we now know wasn't effective at all. Didn't stop anything, didn't slow anything, didn't cure anything. I hope you're okay, bro. I hope you recovered once and, you know, had the kind of fog brain from it. Lost my sense of, you know, whatever, but it was never like threatening. I know a lot of people that it did threaten. It was because they had other, you know, illnesses. Keep catching them sticks. But yeah, I hope you've recovered and everything's okay. Be nice if somebody changed the law and you can sue the living shit out of those companies that rushed and hurt and did that. Yeah, it was rough. I had my youngest son. He was at the Indian folks' homes during that time, and then, like I said, my daughter was in all the ERs around the country, you know, working with all the people that had it too. Of course, the fact that they would send people with COVID into old folks' homes to keep them away from everybody else, and then basically killed a bunch of older folks who couldn't, you know, take the extra intensity on their body. I mean, it was just like that shit. That time was so freaking crazy. One of my buddies bad and died. Of course, my mom got cancer, stage 4, in a year. But you know, we couldn't even hardly go see her. She was terrified, trying to fight the cancer, and then worried about, you know, somebody might bring COVID because my sister was a nurse. It was crazy. It was crazy. Hope we don't ever have to deal with anything like that again. What really got me was the fact that I can't remember the name of the hospital, but they literally held a drill that was everything that we saw play out in COVID like a year before. Like they were doing a practice run. It was absolutely insane. Except instead of it being a virus that come from a bat, it was like something that came from a pig or something. It was crazy. And it's still on, I can't remember, it wasn't the Mayo Clinic. It was Johns Hopkins maybe? I'll have to go find the video. But they literally sat in a room. There's a crappie bluegill tapping on the prick repair. But they literally sat in a room for like a week. And it was like they were reading everything that happened, down to politics, everything. It just wasn't from a bat, from the Wuhan lab. But it was, makes you wonder. Makes you wonder, did somebody kill a whole bunch of people to change things in the presidential whatever? Makes you, yeah, it's sick to think about. It's a lot of dead people to even think about shit like that. But who knows? Who knows? We're talking fishing. These bluegill, they love this prickly pear as soon as it hits, but it's too big for them, which is why I'm throwing it, because I want the big bass to hit it. Ooh, I gotta get this loop out of my line. I keep saying I'm going to, and I keep casting, and then I don't do it. I gotta replace this line, because like I said, I'm down to the last 50 or 75 yards. Gotta get some new stuff. I should have got the new put in here last night, like I did with that other reel, so that it has time to kind of form to the spool. I need to find my way. All right, let's get the old chattergramps. Probably should have threw that crankbait through there. We got some shady spots. I'm gonna turn around and cast back towards this shady back. Bluegill hit my chatterbait. As soon as it hit the water, I was like, boom, boom. I feel you, bro. I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for what's trying to eat you. Come on, fish. Where you at? I know you up here munching. It's lunchtime. Lunchtime. Generally, I catch my biggest fish in the middle of the day, so I need one of those like noon to 1 fish. Want the snack? I need to change the line on this rod too. This has the same fluoro on it from like 3 years ago. It's like my season ended, then I was off a year, and then I didn't do anything. And I just like, oh, I can fish this year. Let's go get on the water. We didn't care. We just went and fished. Of course, it already cost me probably the biggest fish of the year so far. I lost like a 5-pounder because I should have replaced the line and didn't even retie the knot. Just out here fishing like a dummy. This one I'm actually throwing the new Z-Man chatterbait, that heavy duty with the big hook. I'm going to be throwing it quite a bit up there too, trying to get some of them big old small jaws to hit. I'll throw the Mini Max in the bluegill pattern, and then I'll throw this one in the white, and we'll feed them what they want. See if we can't catch some fish. Can't believe there's nobody here on this point. Of course, the sun's right in my face. I can't. Not that it's going to help me catch anything anyway, but still. I need to get off the water today and go get all this stuff done. Spend some time with the beds. My wife hasn't called yet, so I don't know if she's left or not. I don't think she's leaving until like 3. spending some time with her dad since I ain't seen him in 2 weeks, and then Gran's gonna go pick him up and bring him down here for tomorrow. Got some balls of crappie out there. Trying to drag this across that point, see if there's anybody hanging out on either end. I think I caught another rock though, got too close to the... It runs up like this, so they'll come up and eat and go back down. But I let that sink down a little bit. Like I'm at 9 foot right here, it's like no foot right there. It does that, this point just comes all the way out. Should have been throwing that crankbait on that instead of up here messing this up. If I can get this out of here. There we go. Oh, there was a stick there. Let me come back out this way and I'll go out and throw a crankbait up on that and drag it down. But yeah, I like to talk a lot too, so that way you guys always know what I got going on, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. And you know, I'm Gramps, I can't be having no ASMR stream. I talk way too much. Here in the deeper water and then turn back around. Yeah, that point comes out here good ways. Gotta go find my line conditioner and spray some of these reels down well with the 4.0. I haven't had to warranty a rod yet. I did have to warranty repair my Exents reel. It was in my rod locker, and I guess the banging around caused like one of the rivets to come out of it. I guess I won't say so much as a warranty, but I think it was like 25 bucks to get it repaired, and I was real happy. I mean, they had to replace some parts and things like that too. But no, I've been lucky so far. I haven't had to warranty a rod yet. I've still got a few X Prides. I'm mostly Loomis these days. Trying to kind of like upgrade and spoil myself as much as possible before I retire, so I don't have to worry about it afterwards. Tell you what, though, the best warranties I ever had was with Dobbins. You break it, they replace it. But yeah, you'll have to let me know how your experience is. But it's not that I don't care about like the warranty stuff. It's just like I know if I break it, it was probably me anyway, and I'm gonna end up just going buying another one anyway. But I mean, when they do, when it is their fault, I want to see what it's like for them to get them to fix it. Part of me thinks I should tie that drop shot back on now that I'm gonna come around this boathouse. Take the fluke off and put the drop shot on. Or I'm just gonna throw a bluegill, chase this bluegill colored bait all the way out here. I don't think I'll put the drop shot on. I think I'll leave that little tube on, and I'm gonna put my Senko back on to skip underset docks along with this prickly pear. Yeah, I need to get out the lemon. I haven't been out the lemon this year yet. Of course, with all the water, I just wasn't sure if they were going to be dealing with the floods and all that too. All right, I need to put this down. The sun is up. These fish are going to be under these docks. They are going to be up under these docks, and I need a Senko and a prickly pear to go chase them. Let's see. Here, Luke, you're coming off, and Mr. Wacky is going right back on there. I don't even know if I want to mess with this side because the shade's on the other side, but there's a guy over there crappie fishing too, so let me try to make some casts on this side of it and then get over there. I think he's just sitting in one spot, either that or he's getting ready to move. Well, I say that, I got shade right here in front of me too. See if we can get the wacky to... Oh, he's in his boat slip. That's what he's doing. I thought he was fishing. Alright. That wasn't a skip. That was just a bad cast. I have a red light on my troll. I don't know what that means. Is there something still around my... Huh. It says it's not deployed, but it is working. Huh. Now we're back to green. Alright. I need to turn around and fish these docks. I keep forgetting my trolling motor is now connected to my graph. This is actually set up where I can set like a path, and the graph, once I say go, it'll actually run the path. But if my trolling motor throws an alarm, it tells it to my graph, and you have to reset it, and you're done. See if there's anybody under this dock. Lots of crappie down there. I don't know if you guys can see my graph right now, but there's a zillion fish down there. See the anchor line, or the dock line. There's any big bass sitting under all these crappie. Sheesh. Definitely should have brought my crappie rod. We'd have been eating today. We would have been snacking the snacky snack. So we can go get us a Senko fish. want to get on the other side so I can get out of the sunlight. Probably over on the other side in more of the shade. But we'll see if we can get somebody to come out on this side first. Then we'll get on up out of here. We've been live for almost 5 hours. Holy smokes. I love this stuff. My trolling motor's got reverse on it. That's cool shit. I just use it as brakes. There we go. Just push this backwards. You don't have to spin the head around. It's kind of cool. But I don't know why I did that other than just to see how well it worked. When I want to get to the other side, now to the sun. Oh, bounce that off the water and up to and under the dock, but I'm going by too fast. Even if I caught one there, let's go ahead and get around to the other side. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Yeah, if I get up there, I'm just going too fast, so we'll just come around. Go around the other side, bring it around town. Bob says he's gonna go test out a new rod. Superfly says good morning. Scoop's gonna throw the abstracts and progs. Nice, nice. Yeah, if you guys catch any fish, make a post on the YouTube channel under community. It lets you guys post pictures now. I haven't seen anybody do that yet. It'd be cool if we get somebody to do it for the first time. Josh Lanham, catching giant smallie. Friend of the channel. Long time. Want to go see Josh out fishing me from the bank, as always. We're gonna catch a fish over here in the shade. Over here in the shade. I gotta let that fall. Gotta let that wacky fall down in the water a bit. Anybody in there? I tempted to grab a black and blue with the kind of little tint to this water, just to make it stand out a little more. If we say it, we got to do it, right? Let's go. You know, black and blue is my favorite anyway. haven't seen an eagle out here in this year yet either. There's an eagle. Right back here jumping around. I was gonna say, do I have any black and blue in here? But I see them right there. There's one with already a hook in it, but we already got one set up with a hook. That's for a quick retie. Let's save that for later if we gotta do a quick retie. Here's the wet. Oh, I just pulled that one apart. We're stretching the Senko to pull it apart and release the salt, and it came in half. That must have been one of the oldest ones I've had. The old Senko pliers out here. I forgot the spot lock and the wind's carrying me into the bank. Let's go catch a fish. Back. Did not go where we wanted. We're just a little bit too far past. I'm either going to throw this on the boat or I'm going to throw it right between them. Oh, got it between them. Wasn't in the optimal casting position, but we got her done. Try to let that fall a good little ways and then give it a twitch. Nobody hit it on the fall. We'll scooch on up here. Didn't get that anywhere near enough far back in there where I wanted it. Trying to pull them out from under the ducks. There we go, right up against the pontoon. I don't know if you guys can see in there very well. Uh-oh. YouTube not receiving enough. Did we get too close to the tree? Are we back? I think we got too close to the I guess the starling didn't trees under that bank. Haven't caught a fish. Uh-oh. I let the sun get to the back of that glass, and this one, since I didn't bring my external battery, it's not going to run because it's got the battery in it. Yeah, I might have to get that unplugged and out of there. It's probably about time for me to get out of here anyway. Well, I'm glad you guys were here to help me catch some fish. See me catch some fish, even though it's been a while. Seems like once the sun comes up, then it ain't happening. For now, camera's overheating and the live stream is gonna die because I forgot to bring my other battery to run it external, and so this is not gonna work. Well, it says we're streaming again, but I'm afraid my camera is gonna overheat. But since I don't have my external battery because I forgot to charge and bring that with me. The one I did bring with me is more for doing my tablet, but it's not a constant charge, so it can't keep going to keep the camera going. I have a 9-volt battery that I normally use for my DJI, and it was not charged. My back camera back there is working just fine. That's not the one we're live streaming with. I could have put it back there and not had to worry about it. Probably should have done that, thinking about it, knowing I didn't have enough battery, but I didn't think I'd stay out here this long either. Did not think I would. So with all that said, with it heating up, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. But y'all be sure to follow the channel next week, especially while you're at work, because I will be on the water, because I took off my first vacation since my heart attack. But thanks everybody for coming out and hanging out with me today, being here. It's getting a little too hot. The cameras are getting done. And like I said, I got batteries in this one and it's just not going to keep running. But thanks for hanging out. Be sure to follow us next week in Wisconsin, chasing big smunglies. I promise I'll have all this stuff ready to go. And we're going to catch some fish. You're not going to want to miss these live adventures. Going to have Starlink running. We're going to be live a lot of the time while we're up there. But appreciate y'all. Hey, if you're on Facebook, go check out the Fishing with Gramps Facebook page. We just crossed 7,500 followers crazily in a month. That is absolutely insane. But hey, yeah, if you want to see me once, you see me here on YouTube, you can see me over there too being stupid. All right, until next time, get outside where you can and make some memories. One cast at a time. Okay, bye.